Now this game's heating up.
Hey, what's up? I got some more lore content for you guys. Welcome to October. Halloween is my favorite holiday, so I thought I would dress for the occasion and rock a new design for my mouse tracker this month. Also, and more importantly, I have another deck profile for the Targon expansion, which is the Misfortune Gangplank Pirate Aggro deck. The cat's out of the bag with this one, pun intended, as this was the deck I used to climb a couple weeks ago, but it recently picked up huge traction and is now the highest play rate deck. This deck aims to play very aggressive, utilizing burn damage and offensively statted units. It pays no mind to how much HP the opponent has because this list runs lots of direct damage. The deck whittles the opponent down really fast and uses a plethora of finishers in order to net quick and sometimes cheesy wins. I want to run through my card choices, explain why they're in the deck, and give you the knowledge to pilot the deck yourself. The code for the deck will be in the description below. Before I get into the deck profile, if you're new, please consider hitting the subscribe button to stay up to date with my content. My current goal is just 1,000 subs and I'm like 2 away during the recording of this video, so it would be awesome if you joined. I also stream on Twitch often, so check me out over there if you want live gameplay of someone who's hit Master Tier 4 times already and recently peaked top 30 players in NA. With that, I hope you enjoy this deck profile. So yeah, I used this deck to climb from Diamond to Masters. I went 23 wins and 3 losses with it on a huge win streak. Keep in mind though, these results are mainly surprise factor because the deck was nowhere near popular at the time. It's definitely the best burn deck to play, but be mindful as well that Petty Officer and Jack the Winner both got hit this patch, so it's not at full power. With that, let's take a look at the curve. It's very, very early game centered, as you can see. Mainly turns 1 through 3 is where most of the action happens. And then you basically use turn 4 and 5 to pivot into late game finishers. Late game, as I say for this deck, being mainly like GP and burn damage, along with Captain Pharaon if things go really late. So we'll start with the 1 cost. We have 3 Jagged Butcher. He's actually the worst 1 cost that we run, so I'm going to skip to Legion Saboteur and then talk about him in a second. So Legion Saboteur is actually the best one, especially on defense turn. So if you can get a Saboteur on defense, you basically get a guaranteed attack, like you get guaranteed damage on turn 2. So you play Saboteur defense turn 1, turn 2, you open attack, that gets you either your 1 damage or you get 3 full if the opponent passed turn 1, and then you can play Jagged Butcher, you know, as a 3/3, basically counting as a 2-drop worth of stats, but for the cost of 1. Now this gets really out of control if you have 2 Jagged Butcher in hand. So you play, like I said, Saboteur, defense turn 1, attack turn 2, open attack, get your damage, and then double Jagged Butcher. So you go into the next turn with double 3/3s on the board. Absolutely insane. So that's where he actually comes into play. He gets enabled by Saboteur. Next we have triple Precious Pet. This is the best turn 1 attack unit because there's not a single thing in the game that can block him turn 1 except for Solari Soldier. Solari Soldier is a huge cuck against Precious Pet, but otherwise you're completely good to go. Play him on attack turn 1, get in your free 2 damage. Imperial Demolitionist comes in because she is a premium statted defensive unit, 2 mana 2/3. She can be used to block after she gets her effect off, which is the main reason we run this card. Demolitionist is really good for hitting like Grenadier or your Jagged Butcher early for extra burn damage, and it can also be used as a finisher later. Legion Grenadier is the same thing as Demolitionist, except you're not guaranteed 2 damage right away. You get 1 later on, but he is aggressively statted as a 2 mana 3/2. He can trade up into stuff or hit your opponent directly in the face if they had passed the first couple turns. You know, you get him onto attack, and he basically gets in 3 damage and then promises you 1 later. Super good card, especially after his change. Him having 3/2 and dealing 1 instead of being a 3/1 that deals 2 is actually better in this deck, even though it hurt other burn variations. Next we have triple Make It Rain. This is an insanely good card. It's like one of the best removals, if not the best removal in the game for its cost, and when you're expecting to play the card. It can hit a lot of stuff early, like double Bark Beast plus Nexus is just a huge swing turn for you if you're playing against They Who Endure. It hits, you know, lots of 1 HP units that are being run right now. So including the mirror match, you can hit Precious Pet and Saboteur and kind of make the opponent run out of steam faster than you if you're playing the mirror. Make It Rain, absolutely incredible. It's also pretty good to use just for like burn damage early on. Like if you get damage turn 1 and then it's your turn and you can't get any damage in somehow, you can use Make It Rain to try to get GP's level up so that you can play him on 5 leveled up, which would be absolutely insane and is technically possible. So yeah, you can also use Make It Rain like that. Next we have Misfortune, the first champion. Misfortune is really powerful in this deck, especially with Keg synergy. If you like Petty Officer or Keg and then Misfortune passive becomes 2 damage to everything that attempts to block. Also Keg Make It Rain is something worth thinking about and considering in most matchups if you are fighting against other aggro. So, back to Misfortune though. She's really strong. She dominates the board early, and she gets in a lot of free damage. You're not trying to level up Misfortune in this deck, so like 7 out of 10 times you actually just attack with her even if she's going to die, because you are guaranteeing other damage gets pushed through, and she's definitely trading up into whatever is blocking her turns 3 or 4. So she's basically just a powerhouse card. You don't play around her level up though, don't worry about if she dies. If she gets removed or something, it's not the end of the world. You got some removal out of her, so at least it's a 1-for-1. Noxian Fervor, really good card. It's a reactive card over anything else. You basically use this when your opponent is trying to use removal. For example, like let's say you have Misfortune, she attacks, the opponent uses Culling Strike. Well, you might as well Noxian Fervor, kill your Misfortune, and deal the 3 direct damage into the enemy's face or into a really problematic unit. Most of the time though, you're probably going to prioritize face damage because it goes a long way, and you can probably end the game just going face the entire time, unless the opponent is running Targon and has like 3 guiding touches and 3 star shapings all in their top 10. You basically go face. Petty Officer recently hit, feels bad man. Being a 3-2 was really powerful and could create a lot of swingy turn 3s, especially in this deck. This deck is probably the main reason that he got hit. Summoning a 1 cost though, he's a 2-for-1 deal. He's still good. He just gets hit by Vile Feast and he gets traded with 1-drops sometimes now. It's not the end of the world. I think his value is still really good and he still earns his spot in this deck. However, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets taken out for another aggressive card that can do some kind of burn damage. You know, there's always room to take out stuff and add more cheese. Next we have Zap Sprayfin. This is in here basically for the spell draw. It's also an elusive attacker if you want to get a little bit of extra damage in. Sometimes Zap Sprayfin can solo win you the game, because like let's say you attack with Zap and then she pulls Noxian Fervor. That's 5 damage just by itself, so that can go a long way. Zap Sprayfin can also pull Make It Rain. Because of the consistency of the spells that we run, Zap Sprayfin always draws Make It Rain or Noxian Fervor, which is really good. You're basically, guaranteed one of them if you draw multiple of the other. Like let's say you open 2 Make It Rain early and like, man, I need Noxian Fervor to end the game. You have a higher chance of drawing the Fervor off of Zap Sprayfin. So you can use that to calculate lethals. Really cool. Really big brain stuff actually. Next we run Triple Decimate. This is the opposite of Big Brain. This is Smooth Brain technology. Literally just run 12 direct damage in the deck to finish off opponents. This gets amped by barrels from both Petty Officer summons and from GP summons. So think about how you're going to use Decimate effectively if you have barrels. Speaking of GP is really strong attack turn 5 unit. If you've done damage each of the rounds, like let's say you do Make It Rain or you do like a Noxian Fervor the turn that you plan on playing GP and he comes out leveled up, it's kind of over. You definitely win the game by then. Attacking with him on like attack turn 6 if he's leveled though, also really powerful, and he's a mini win condition and a primary bait for removal cards. Next we have Jack the Winner, also recently nerfed. He can no longer block GP for free in the mirror match, which kind of sucks, but he is still a good 5 mana 5/5 that gives you 2 free damage at the start of every round at the cost of 2 HP of your ally. I think he's still a good 2 of. So use him, basically getting some cheese damage. And finally we have 2 Captain Pharaon. Speaking of cheese damage, Captain Pharaon just creates 12 more damage directly into your hand. If you haven't drawn enough Decimates, well, we got it here. Plus he has Overwhelm and he's an 8/8. If the game goes really long, he's definitely going to make or break the game. So He is the final win condition of the deck if you can't pull off anything else with the massive amounts of damage that we have already. Another really cool thing, and this is just to satiate my OCD, is it runs 20 Bilgewater, 20 Noxus. That feels really good to look at. Yeah. Feels good, man. I wanted to provide a good foundation for the deck. I encourage players to mess with the numbers and put in whatever little twist they like. And that about wraps it up for the deck profile. Now here's a live commentary game so you can see how the deck plays out. I'll be giving context to why I'm playing certain cards, and hopefully it gives you a good feel on how to play the deck. Alright, it looks like we're fighting Lee Sin Zed, probably Lee OTK, since we're running Targon with it. So this is a quite popular deck as well. It's going to be really interesting to see how the matchup is. I know Ionia Targon runs a good amount of heal. I'm also going to pitch Precious Pet here because, like I said in the deck profile, we want Legion Saboteur on defense turn 1 actually. It's really good, especially if we top deck Jagged Butchers. Cool.
I have my orders.
So we'll get the, we could go for the hit right now, but you have to think about what 2 cost the opponent plays. I think he probably runs the 2-mana 1/3 that attunes and summons a dragon later on, which is not a deterrent for Grenadier, so we're going to play Grenadier. This makes an overall more powerful board. If he wants to block the 1/3 to my 2/1, that's fine. I still get in more damage this way. I get in 4 rather than 3. There she is. He definitely blocks the 2/1 here. If he doesn't, he's a psychopath. There we go. This is a good trade for me because now if I attack with MF, this card is useless. It literally cannot block, or MF passive will kill it for free. Unless it gets buffed, of course. Via Twin Disciplines or something.
Looking into the future, I see purple.
Okay, he's kind of committed to an attack this turn. Because that's a really weak unit. Turn block here and here. He's at 2 mana, so he can't outplay my Misfortune on this attack. I guess he could with Pale Cascade, actually.
Cracked. Run while you can.
This is quite alright. He's already down 5 HP. We have another Misfortune, so this is a really good attack. Gonna attack here and then play Make It Rain. Make It Rain plus Love Tap will kill off the 3/2. Unless, of course, he has another spell. He does. I'm gonna hit him with the math emoji because MF still kills. Make him think that it was a bad play. It's a big brain emote meta. So I'll trade this and just play a fresh MF.
I'm one of the good guys, but not that good.
Next turn is probably GP. I really want him to attack first so he doesn't kill the barrel for free though. Another MF. Alright, we opened all 3 MFs this game, so it's just kind of over.
The dragon spirit.
Okay, he's going to kick MF guaranteed, so we can just play the GP. He's not going to attack barrel.
I'm taking your head.
Don't make promises you can't keep, little girl.
He's going to double gem, kill MF. He could also kill GP if he wanted. Bastion.
I will not hold back.
Okay, definitely the MF then.
Prepare yourself.
We'll shed a tear.
Alright, this is definitely open attack. Because I don't want him to be able to give like Lee Sin Barrier and such.
Pin them by their entrails.
So we're just going to get the hit in here. It'll deal 3 overwhelm through Lee Sin if he chooses to block, or he takes 5. Unless he has a spell to react. And my hand is loaded with damage still. Nice, he takes the 5 direct. That's huge for me. I'm gonna play Jagged Butcher and then feel out the rest of the turn.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
Nothing like the stink of blood and sweat. Get to work.
I think now I could Demolitionist. We'll see though. See if he uses any more of his mana. He doesn't. Yeah, let's Demolitionist the
If they
3/3.
don't break, they'll burn.
Barrel's going to amp it up.
That which they cannot conquer.
It deals a little extra to Jagged Butcher, but getting that 3 to Nexus is huge. GP levels literally next turn if I Decimate. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Can also MF just for a threat.
What do you fight for?
Fun. Mostly.
It's a good interaction. Alright. Yeah, we have lethal. Exact amount of mana required. Meteor Shower. Okay. Yeah, let's just Noxian Fervor this then. This will also level up GP.
Bilgewater is mine and mine alone.
Hell of a day.
And Decimate's lethal unless he has Star Shaping or Guiding Touch here. Nice. He doesn't have it. That was a perfect game. I took no damage.
I won't stop coming for those who wronged me.
I only made one misplay as well. I don't think I should have blocked the Mentor of Stuns with MF. Luckily, he didn't have Pale Cascade to punish, so it was really actually good for me. But you know, hindsight is 20/20. I should not have made that block. You have to carefully consider everything that your opponent plays and, you know, try to play around it, because as much damage as you can get in is really, really vital in this kind of deck. And that's it for this one. Please like and subscribe if you thought this video was informative or entertaining. It really helps me out since I'm still trying to grow. I'll be releasing more deck profiles, guides, and gameplay highlights in the near future. Thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Laters!